Without her leadership and experience, it would not have been possible. Elena is escorted by her parents, Cheryl and Kevin Kerr. Also in attendance are her sister Amelia and Annalise and brothers Ingram and Adam. After graduation, Elena plans to attend veterinary school. Her favorite memory at Bryan is waking up at 5 a.m. for egg rolls and donuts before early morning practice with my team, which made my other favorite memory coming off the national floor with my teammates and coach knowing God made it all possible. Elena Kerr. Sydney Neal. Sydney is a chemical engineering major from Hamilton, New Zealand. She is escorted by her dad, James Neal. I know her mom, Tanya, and family are watching at home. Also in attendance is her adopted father, Father Ryan Eves. After graduation, Sydney plans on moving home and working in the maintenance engineering field while continuing her journey with basketball and giving back to the community that's helped her get to where she is. Her favorite memory at Bryan is making lifelong friends and being able to pursue my degree while playing the game I love. Sydney Neal. Yana Kennard. Yana is an exercise health science major from Nashville, Tennessee. She's escorted by Sharonda and Dewan Kennard. Also in attendance is her sister, Aaliyah Kennard. After graduation, Yana plans to pursue a master's degree. Her favorite memory at Bryan, helping in the training room as well as the trip to California sophomore year. Yana Kennard. Our next senior is Katie Farrell. Katie has already earned her bachelor's degree in psychology and a minor in EHS, and she will have her master's in human services and is from Smithville, Tennessee. Katie is escorted by her parents, Anthony and Trina Farrell. Also in attendance is her fiance, Cameron, and both her grandmas. After graduation, Katie plans to attend occupational therapy school at UTC in August. Her favorite memory, getting to be with both teams this year and see not only the player role, but the leadership role as well. Katie Farrell. We will now recognize the senior men's basketball players. First, Cole Torres. Cole is escorted by his parents, Kim Cram and John Torres. Also joining him today are his uncle, Carlos Colombo, and the Hennessy family. Cole is an exercise health science major from Crossville, Tennessee. After graduation, Cole plans to pursue a career as a stretch practitioner or personal trainer. His favorite memory at Bryan is jumping into the pool in North Carolina with his teammates and playing Mario Kart every night during junior year. Cole Torres. is a business major from Dawson, Georgia. After graduation, he plans to begin his career working at a logistics company, LBF Transport. His favorite memories at Bryan are road trips with the team, Mario Kart nights and Bible studies, and Res Life family gatherings. Nick Shambliss. Last, we have Riley Holloman. Riley is a sport management major from Jefferson, Georgia. He is escorted by Renee Gibson, Chad Holloman, and Camden Holloman, his mom, dad, and brother. Also joining him today is his aunt, Nikki Knight. After graduation, Riley plans to become a graduate assistant and pursue a career in coaching. His favorite memory at Bryan is beating Cole and Trey at shooting games after practice and playing Mario Kart with the team. Riley Holloman. Summers Gymnasium, please give another round of applause for these seniors. Jefferson, Georgia, number 10, Riley Holloman. At forward, a junior from Bells, Tennessee, number 14, Hayden Boughton. At guard, a senior from Dawson, Georgia, number 15, Nick Shambliss. At guard, a senior from Crossville, Tennessee, number 20, Cole Torres. And at center, a junior from Memphis, Tennessee, number 33, Jerry Taylor Jr. The Lions are coached by Jason Latch and assisted by Josh Muncie, Wes Stevener, Nick Roberts, and Ian Johnson. Now I'm on. Excuse me. I'll tell you this: if you're joining us, I apologize. I'm a little bit new to this booth, and I've been on mute. So I've been talking and announcing probably the best game of my life for these first 3 minutes, and you missed it. And I'll be honest, it's all downhill from here. But we are at 2-0 Lions with 7:49 left to go in this half. So it just started pretty much. And Jerry Taylor Jr. with his 4th points of the game. And that's going to create a timeout as the Koalas need to reset. 4-0 Lions here in the first. All right, back in action. Apologize for the poor performance in the booth by myself. But the Koalas have possession. It's going to be Chandler O'Bannon with the ball. Over here to Tay Burton. Lions have played a very good defensive game in the first 3 minutes of this contest. And looks like Harrell may have got away with a little travel as they pull up for a three-point jumper. No good. Rebound, Cole Torres. Torres driving, bounces it back out to Taylor, over to Holloman, to Hayden Moten. Moten's going to get into Taylor. Looks like there's going to be a battle underneath today as Taylor manhandles himself down low as he puts some more points on the board, and that's over Zach Smith. I think that's going to be a battle. I can just kind of tell it already. Tay Burton with the ball, passes it over to his teammate. Bouncing the ball around pretty actively, the Koalas are so far. Step back jumper for Smith, no good. Rebound, Moten. Koalas come into this contest at 10-12 with a conference record of 7-6. As Nick Chambliss, a fan favorite and a senior, handles the ball. He'll get off the Cole Torres with a fancy move underneath, and he's going to convert. 8-0 Lions, off to a fantastic start so far. Burton passes out, three-point attempt, no good. Rebound, Moten, he was in the right place. They're going to slow it down a little bit. Torres over to Holloman, the senior. He's going to take the three-point shot, no good. Rebound, Koalas. And we got a whistle on the floor. It looks like a timeout. So our second quick timeout of the game. And we will take a break and be right back. Back in action here as the Koalas come out with a quick three-point jumper attempt and good as they will get their first points on the board. 8-3 Lions lead. Over to Chambliss, back to Torres, to Taylor to get the ball across the midcourt line. Chambliss will pull up with a three-pointer, and he's going to hit one of his own. Great answer, Nick Chambliss. 11-3 lead for the Lions here on senior night. A lot of energy on the floor, a lot of energy in the gym. And blocked by Jerry Taylor Jr. Scramble on the ground. Hayden Moten's he's gonna try to call timeout, and he's gonna get it. So timeout, Lions. And we'll stick with you here because we've been having a lot of timeouts very quickly. But so far, what we have seen is some aggressive basketball and some exciting play here. I had mentioned to you that the Koalas come in with a 10-12 record and 7-6 in conference, and that is good enough to be dead even in conference with the Lions, 7-6. So this is a match that's going to determine placement and seeding in the postseason, although we have still, a few more weeks to go in the season. Every game kind of counts right now, as there are 3 teams at 7-6, one sitting at 7-5. We got an 8-5, an 8-4, an 8-4. And then down there we got a 5-8. So really Pikeville's kind of got it there a little bit of a command with the lead of the conference sitting at 10-1. But then you're looking at Truett, McConnell, Johnson, CIU, Tennessee Westland, Bryan, Columbia, Union Commonwealth, and Montreat neck and neck, just battling for, to be quite truthful, second place, because you're only looking at a game and a half down for these teams underneath Truett McConnell, who on the scoreboard, and Johnson's sitting at second place. But it's really in any person's game, in this conference. And I know every game counts, and certainly the Lions want to take advantage of the start they've gotten off to so far tonight. So as we come back out of the timeout, it's going to be Hayden Moten inbounding the ball. Koalas with about a two-man press right here. And giving the Lions a little bit of fits, but they are able to break it and get the ball over to Riley Holloman at the top of the key. He's going to give it to Moten, back to Torres. Torres to Holloman. Riley Holloman taking his third three-pointer shot of the game. Hasn't converted yet, but getting some great looks, so you can't blame him for shooting it, and that is his game, is to shoot three-pointers. And that ball is tipped by Cole Torres, almost stolen, but recovered by the Koalas. A little tough, short-range jumper, and they're going to miss, and Holloman's going to get the rebound. Off to Cole Torres to bring the ball down the court. 11-3 Lions, 14:30 left to go in the half. Torres loses the ball. Koalas pick it up. And that's going to be another turnover. So Jerry Taylor with the interception. Torres with the dunk to get the crowd on their feet here in Summers Gymnasium. Koalas are wanting a timeout. They don't want to take another one already. But great momentum by that right there. Great play by Jerry Taylor over to Cole Torres and the conversion as the Koalas are underneath, and the ball's going to be bouncing around. Skip back out to, Ford, and I need to learn that name before I attempt to pronounce it. Lilian. How's that? I gave it a shot. Hayden Moten over to Jerry Taylor Jr. I'm seeing a pronunciation guide, Allion. And I should have looked at that to begin with. Koalas with the drive down court. That's going to be a layup attempt by McKenzie, and no good. Rebound Lions. Out to Cole Torres to slow things down a little bit. 13-3 Lions. Need to keep this momentum going with some good looks. No reason to press anything right here. We got Chambliss with the long three-point attempt. No good. I think the best thing the Lions can do right now is to get the shot they want, be in the situation they're at right now, as the Koalas cut into the lead a little bit with a two-pointer by Jalen McDuffie. Holloman will cross midcourt. Over to Nick Chambliss. To Torres. Jerry Taylor Jr. underneath. Bounces it back out to Torres. And that's going to be bobbled and turned over. Caleb Brown with the steal right there. Over to Ford. Ford to McKenzie. McKenzie underneath Smith. Smith bounces it back out. And that is going to be a three-point shot and no good by McDuffie. And rebound Lions. Jerry Taylor Jr. is going to take it all the way down before he gives it out to Hayden Moten at the top of the key. And he'll drive in himself, but no good. As a good block by the Koalas. Out to Torres. No good there. Rebound tipped by Nick Chambliss, but out of bounds on the Lions. And we're going to see 5 new players coming in this game. And who we're going to have is Ty Gibbs, Rigel Moore, Derek Curtis, Elijah Breadwood, and then I was wrong, Hayden Moten. Excuse me. Isaiah Breadwood. That Milligan game threw me off, and I apologize. Isaiah Breadwood, I know my guy. All right. But Hayden Moten will stay on the court. Underneath, heavy defensive pressure, has to bounce it back out to a three-point line, and he's going to hit a wide-open three-pointer. And that is, looks like it was Elion Ford. Over to Breadwood, out to Moten. Moten underneath the Rigel Moore. Good ball movement there. Back out to Breadwood, slow things down a little bit. Out to Moore. He's got to recover and grab that ball. Great ball movement as we see Rigel Moore take the good look three, but no going on that. And we got a scramble underneath. They're going to call a jump ball, and that's going to stay with the Lions. Ty Gibbs will be doing the inbounding for the Lions. He's going to find Derek Curtis at the corner. Ball movement out to Moten. Moten drives in. He's going to lose his handle of it. Steal by the Koalas. Going quickly down court. It's 2-on-1, but he's going to get a shot off, but no good. Rebounded Koalas, scramble for the ball. They're going to stay with it. Looked like he could have taken a few steps there, but no call. McKenzie with the turnaround, and he's going to hit that jumper for a great shot right there. 13-10 as the Koalas have cut into the lead here tonight. Redwood trying to start something over to Curtis, Ty Gibbs. Curtis with some ball handles there. He's going to drive in, back it back out. Koalas playing good defense right here, not giving them up much. Moten takes a shot off, no good. Lions have felt a little cold streak so far after starting this game so hot. And that's going to be a kind of a wild, out-of-control shot, but it doesn't matter because Elion Ford hits that one to cut the lead to 1. And now we're feeling this very close matchup that we expected here at Summers Gymnasium. Ty Gibb with a great move around, and he's going to find the wide-open layup and bounce this thing back out to 15-12. Good ball handles himself by Ford. Finds a man underneath. That's Trayvon Smith. Back out to Ford. Three-point shot. No good. Rebounded Moten. Out to Breadwood. Soft pressure by the Koalas. Breadwood's going to turn up and take the jump shot. 3. No good. And we got a foul called. Looks like on a Koala, and I'm trying to see a number. Tough all the way on the other side. It's purple on black jerseys, and I'm not going to be able to tell you who the foul was on, but I am going to tell you that we're going to take a timeout and be right back. Back in action here at Summers Gymnasium. 9:26 remaining in the first half. 15-11 Lions lead. Been a lot of action. Feels like a lot of ball movement trying to find the open man, but the result of that is both teams are playing very good defense so far. With only one foul in this contest, you would say that puts an exclamation point on the defense that they are playing good, clean defense. Not sure what the conversation is down there, but Coach wants to chat with the They're done with their conversation. They'll email each other later. Rigel Moore trying to inbound the ball. Again, tough defense. Finds Breadwood, but it's going to end up being a jump ball. This one's going to go to the Koalas. And this has the makings of a low-scoring, well-defended game, a lot of energy. Let's see if we can keep that energy up for both teams. It's going to come down to who gives up or makes the mistake first here on this beautiful evening here in Dayton. Ford with the ball. Back out to McKenzie. McKenzie gives it up to the perimeter. Driving in is Jordan McKean. McKean back to McKenzie, and he's going to be fouled and make the shot. So he will go to the line with an attempt to make this a one-point game. 15-13 at this point. Jamison McKenzie, a 70% free throw shooter on the year, misses that one to lower the average just slightly as Derek Curtis brings the ball down, gives it over to Ty Gibbs. Gives out the Breadwood. Back to Curtis, into Cal Drake, who's in the game for Moton. Curtis trying to move around, trying to play despite his size, and that's what he can do despite his size. Overmatched in the height category, but not in the hustle and effort and the baller category as he converts on that layup right there underneath. He can be a spark plug for the Lions without a doubt. We've seen it many times this year as the Koalas drive and make a good floater attempt in. That is Elion Ford. And Curtis will bring this ball down, get to Rigel Moore to cross half court. He's going to drive in quickly, and he's going to try to take that a shot that was a tough one, but no going for Moore as the Koalas get the rebound, bring it back down court. We got a three-point attempt by that's going to be another jump ball. Looks like it was Jalen McDuffie that shot that three, and it doesn't look like that's his game. Looks like a big bruiser underneath. Cal Drake going to inbound this as we got some pressure from the Koalas. It's going to be a little tough to find a man, but he does find Gibbs to bring it up the court, and the Koalas back off momentarily. Gibbs over to Moore. Into Jerry Taylor Jr. That's going to be tipped out of bounds by the Koalas. It'll remain Lions ball out of bounds. Moore will do the ball handling and pass in there. Finds Taylor. Taylor into Cal Drake. Cal Drake underneath. And he's going to make a great shot right there. Anytime Cal Drake is underneath the goal, you expect the dunk. That's what he wants to do. And the Koalas played good enough defense to prevent that, but not good enough to prevent the goal. As Breadwood gets a steal, now I'm doubting myself, to Cal Drake, who will take a three-point shot, almost, but no good. Rebounded Koalas. Bringing it quickly down court is Jordan McKean. Underneath to Smith, and Smith's going to lose the handles and lose the ball, lose possession. So the Lions will take over as Rigel Moore will be subbed out for Cole Torres. A lot of active members on this Lions bench tonight, so should have fresh legs and high energy throughout the game if needed. Then it just comes down to who's hot, and that's what we've seen. It's just every now and then somebody will just find their stroke, and that's how basketball is. Some days, Ty Gibbs, the man with the ball right now, has certainly had those days of being hot. Turns that one over to the Koalas. Lions do have the advantage on 3-on-2, and so they're going to have to bounce it back out. Jordan McKean tries to reset the offense. Out to Chandler O'Bannon. Bannon back to McKean. Drives in. Good defense by Breadwood. Has to bounce it back out to the three-point line. 9 on the shot clock. He will take the three-point shot. No good, but offensive rebound and tipped back in. And that is Jamison McKenzie with a great second chance there. 19-17 Lions lead. Have never trailed, but we're close. Ty Gibbs underneath the Cole Torres. Great pass, great look, and Torres will connect to extend that lead 21-17. Great ball movement and court vision by Ty Gibbs right there, the freshman that's got an incredibly bright future for the Lions as he has gotten bulks of minutes in every game so far this year. And he's playing good defense right now, not giving anything underneath. Have to bounce it back out. Three-point attempt, no good. Bounces around, and Gibbs will come up with it. So he's all over the court right now as he's going to give that ball up to Torres. But Torres says, Ty, this is your game. And I have a feeling, well, Ty's going to give it back up to Drake. Drake underneath. Can't connect on that one. Rebound Koalas. McKean over to Smith. Smith back to McKean. Long two-point shot, no good. Those are always tough and frustrating if you hit them even. But the Lions will get the rebound as Torres brings the ball up the court with 4 minutes and 41 seconds left to go in this half. 21-17 Lions. Makes some moves, tries to get it over to Taylor, but it bounces off a Koala leg, and they're going to be headed down court. Gibbs doing the defending. He's going to make a spin, and that is Jamison McKenzie with a good move underneath to convert. 21-19. Koala's hanging in there, not giving the Lions any kind of breathing room as Drake bounces it back out to Gibbs. Gibbs drives, floater, good. Great shot by Ty Gibbs. And right now, lately, we've been exchanging baskets in the last 4 minutes of this ball game. Even though we do have low scoring, it's kind of picked up now. It's going to be Thomas Whitley over to Chandler O'Bannon, back to Whitley. McKean, and that's going to be a three-point attempt by Elion Ford. No good. Rebound to Cal Drake. Redwood's going to take it down the court with a man in his face. Tipped by Ford, but recovered by Redwood. Redwood trying to find some space. Gives it out to Jerry Taylor Jr., muscling his way underneath. Can't convert. Rebound Koalas. They'll go quickly down the court. Got the number disadvantage, so they're going to have to bounce it back out. Over to McKean. McKean drives underneath. Underhand layup, good. Great move by McKean right there as he keeps this lead at a 2-point advantage Lions. Kind of what it's been staying at. 3 minutes left to go in the half. Torres going to take the three-point shot. Nails it. Three-pointer, Cole Torres. And that's what the Lions needed right there to get a little bit of momentum back. Koala's going to try to get the equalizer, but no good. It bounces everywhere but in. Rebounded by Drake and over to Redwood. He's going to slowly bring the ball up the court. They're going to try to set up an offense here. Over to Taylor, back over to Gibbs. Gibbs for three. In and out. No good. Rebound to Koalas. Both teams doing a great job on the defensive side of the rebounds. I don't remember an offensive rebound, at least from a long-range shot so far. Gibbs going to be covering McKean. McKean bounces it back out to his teammate. Underneath to McKenzie. McKenzie bounces it back out to three-point line. Three-point shot by Thomas Whitley. Nails it. 24-26. So that was their answer for the Cole Torres three-pointer. To get back to a 2-point deficit for the Koalas. Lions just kind of hanging in there. Jerry Taylor with a long 2-point attempt. No good. McKean with the ball. Trying to set up an offense here. Drives in. Bounces it back out. Trying to drive himself. A lot of hands in there. Had to be a foul, and it was, and they did call it. I think it's going to be on Cole Torres right there. And that is going to send the Koalas to the line. But before that, we will take a timeout and be right back. As we come back out of the timeout, we're going to see the Koalas shooting free throws. As Elion Ford will hit his first one to tie this ball game up for the first time since it was 0-0. And now they will take their first lead of the game. And then they will sub in for Ford as he does his job to take the Koalas' first lead of the game. And the Lions are going to have to get the momentum back somehow as the Koalas bring some pressure, full court style, on Derek Curtis here. They're going to back off a little bit, give it to Hayden Moten. Moten out to Taylor, back to Curtis, into Moten. Excuse me, into Jerry Taylor Jr. Jerry Taylor back to Moten now. Taylor trying to find a space to turn and shoot, and he does. Just strength right there for Jerry Taylor Jr. as he gives the Lions back their lead. 36 seconds left, 19 on the shot clock. Koalas won't be able to take the last shot, but they want to make it a good one. That's Burton. Burton bounces it back out to three-point line, over to Whitley. Whitley to the top of the key, over to Burton. Burton finds a man at the corner. He's going to drive in, back out to the corner, and at the shot clock buzzer, hits the three-pointer. And now we got 11 seconds left with the Koalas leading 30-28. Derek Curtis trying to make something happen, loses the ball, has to recover, 2 seconds left. It's going to be Moten for three-pointer, and that's not going to be no good. So Lions led the majority of the half, but they don't at halftime. We will go into the half. Koalas 30, Lions 28. Back out after halftime on Lions Live. Lions led the majority, and I would probably be willing to say 19 and a half minutes or 18 and a half minutes of the first half until the Koalas took over. And so we're coming out after the half with the Koala lead 30-28. And they will have possession of the ball as they get to the perimeter and shoot the three-point shot, and they're going to extend that lead immediately. 33-28 as the shot is hit from the side. And Cole Torres bringing the ball down, trying to get something started for the Lions. And that's miscommunication. Thought Riley Holloman was there, but he had just broke, and they're going to throw it out of bounds and have a turnover. So not off to a great start for the Lions here in the second half. As mentioned before, both these teams knotted up at 7-6 in the conference, so this game means a lot. Every single time they're looking for separation to see if they can get that better seeding in the conference tournament. Got McKenzie underneath, and he's going to convert on that. So the Koalas take another lead, 35-28. Columbia Koalas as they get off to the start that the Lions got off to in the first half. Nick Chambliss gives it out to Cole Torres over to Holloman. Underneath Jerry Taylor Jr. Out to Chambliss, trying to find an open seam. Gets a good look and hits that jumper. About a 15-footer right there to cut that lead to 35-30. Lions definitely needed something to get the momentum back going their direction. Jordan McKean at the top of the key trying to take control of this offense. Throws it all the way across. Back to McKean. Passing the ball around a lot. Shot clock down to 6. Back out to the top of the key, and O'Bannon. O'Bannon will take the shot at basically with no time left. No good, but the Koalas will get the rebound, except they will step out of bounds, and so it'll be a turnover Lions ball. That was a long possession. Not that it matters at this point in the game, but big clock waster for the Koalas. As Holloman will do the ball handling for the Lions on this possession. Nick Chambliss always wanting a three-point attempt, a three-point look. Cole Torres will do it from time to time. More of a versatile game. Out to Holloman, down to Taylor underneath, and it looks like I don't agree with that. I'll tell you, wrong call on that one. As I had a great look on the baseline and saw Koala tip it out of bounds, but that's not the call we got. So Chandler O'Bannon will give the ball up to McKean. McKean taking the ball down the court to try to extend this Koala lead. Top of the key to Whitley. Back over. And we got some tugging. And I'll be honest, they're going to call that foul on Chambliss, but it looked like McKenzie had a hold of his arm because he was trying to pull it away from him. But regardless, that's going to be a foul on Nick Chambliss, and Ty Gibbs will step in and take his place on the court. Get the ball inbounded underneath. Going to have to bounce it back out as it's crowded under there. Three-point attempt by the Koalas. No good. Ball bouncing up in the air. Rebounded by the Koalas. Back underneath to McKenzie. McKenzie will convert on that second chance. 37-30 Koalas. Lions need to get this momentum moving in the right direction. And the way they're going to do that is by a defensive stop that they haven't been able to get at the end of the first half or at the beginning of the second half. Jerry Taylor Jr. underneath, muscles his way down. He's going to draw the foul. Missed the shot, but he's going to go to the line for 2. Taylor, the junior from Memphis, Tennessee, the transfer, will go to the line, trying to narrow this lead right now as it stands at 7 points. And he'll hit the first of 2 attempts. He will convert both, so that's a good look for the Lions, 32-37. 5-point lead for the Koalas. O'Bannon doing the inbound over to McKean, who does most of the ball handling for Columbia College. Gets it out to Elion Ford. Ford finds a man outside. He's going to drive. That is Chandler O'Bannon, no good, but gets his own rebound. He's going to go back up for it and convert. So on his own second chance, he makes progress and gets what they needed, which is the extension of the lead. Torres over to Holloman. Back to Torres. The Koalas are playing aggressive defense with a lot of energy, and they create the turnover right there and will bring the ball back down and slow it down as they are clearly in control of this game at this point. What is needed is a momentum shift. Big stop right here is a must for the Lions. Three-point attempt. Fade away, nails it. It looks like his foot may have been on line. I think they're going to call two, which I guess is the silver lining in that, but great shot right there by Jordan McKean. Long pass over to Cole Torres, three-pointer, no good. Rebounded McKean. He's all over the court. A menace for the Lions at this point. Over to Ford. Ford trying to set something up. Passing it around three-point land, gets it into McKenzie underneath. He's going to get back with McKenzie, and every time he goes up when he's underneath the goal, he's making them right now. And our biggest lead of the game for the Koalas, as the Lions will have to call timeout going in 43-32 with 15 minutes left to go. Be back on Lions Live. Back in action here in Summers Gymnasium. It'll be Lions ball on their half of the court as Rigel Moore is in, along with some new faces of Isaiah Breadwood, Cal Drake, and then Ty Gibbs and Hayden Moten will join them. Drake on the side, back to Breadwood. Breadwood out to Moore. Finds Gibbs on the corner. He's going to drive in a little bit, give it up to Moten. Moten in heavy traffic, can't convert. And now we have a collision, and they're going to call that on Breadwood. They really both went for the ball, and honestly, it's just because McKenzie went down, or O'Bannon, went down, is there why they're going to call it on Breadwood. And you got to give Breadwood credit because he's about 5'7" and just took down about a 6'7" guy. And so, I mean, you know, there's a win. You take what you can get at this point. Lions trying to play some aggressive defense right now, shut down this Koala attack and get some momentum back. That's the reason for the fresh legs and high energy, and they are going to convert underneath. And I'll tell you this, Chandler O'Bannon has been really good along with McKenzie underneath. That's been two bodies that the Lions have not been able to stop so far when they get under the basket. And Ty Gibbs with a great floater attempt and good for the Lions. 45-34 Koalas. 14 minutes remaining. Probably why Cal Drake is in the ball game right now, to take some of that height advantage that the Koalas seem to have away, but it doesn't matter because now we have a guard making underneath baskets, as that is attempt and good by Elion Ford. Quickly down the court is Breadwood over to Moore. They're going to try to move the ball around with some pace. And Miguel Moore with a fantastic move, makes the shot, gets fouled. He's going to go to the line to try to make it 3 and try to make this a 10-point game. And before we do that, we will have another timeout right back on Lions Live. Back on Lions Live after the timeout. Miguel Moore will be shooting for the 3-point conversion after the made layup, but he will miss that. The Koalas will bring it back down the court. McKean with the ball, bounces it out to Ford. Ford moving the ball around at a good pace. A little fumble right there, and Miguel Moore does come up with it. So that's, it's things like that that's got to go the Lions' way. And it's one thing at a time, and that was a big, big movement. Now, can they capitalize on it? As Moten gives it up to Breadwood into Jerry Taylor, Jr. Jr. over to Moore, almost a bad pass, but Moore recovers. Breadwood with the three-pointer, no good. Recovered by Moore, and Moore's playing good basketball right now. He will go up and get fouled, so he'll be back at the line, but he's all over the court, grabbing rebounds, making good passes, saving errant passes, and now trying to get this lead a little bit tighter. He'll make the first attempt. Cole Torres will make his way in the ballgame for Ty Gibbs. Moore will hit both his free throw attempts. 47-38, 9-point lead for the Koalas. Lions trying to press. Koalas break it, and now they're going to get a decently open look, and they'll convert very quickly. So Koalas negate the lead, or negate the closing of the lead that Miguel Moore made with his free throw shots. And now the Lions got to get something going back. Tough pass into traffic, but Moore comes up with it. Cole Torres three-pointer, yes. 3 points, Cole Torres, 49-41. A stop right here would be big for the Lions to get a chance to close this down a little bit more as we're heading into the 12-minute mark left to go in this game. Fans starting to get into it, trying to get this team going a little bit. More than anything, trying to get this Koala team stopped, because what they're doing is just making shots. Right there, finding men underneath and making shots. And they're doing a great job of it. Credit the Columbia Koalas for moving the ball around at a rate that the Lions have not been able to answer so far. Hayden Moten, it'll be kick ball out of bounds on the Koalas, so they're going to reset and inbound the ball. Redwood will be doing the inbounding for the Lions. Out to Jerry Taylor. Over to Cole Torres. Torres trying to create some space for himself. Underneath layup hand, good. Good drive and finding a bucket in traffic by Torres right now, and he's been the one that's keeping the Lions in it right so far for at least the last 3 minutes. Outside to McKean. I feel like the Lions need to make them shoot the outside shot. They have hit a few for sure, but anytime they drive in, they're converting, and you can see that, I guess, a little bit of a frustration with Lions and knowing how successful they've been underneath with the foul right there on Chandler O'Bannon. So credit them for at least making him attempt it from a little bit farther distance from underneath the basketball goal, but he does make his first free throw there. We'll have Derek Curtis subbing in for Hayden Moten on the floor with Redwood Moore, Jerry Taylor Jr., and Cole Torres. And they will make both free throw attempts to make it a 10-point ball game, which is where we've been living a little bit in this second half. Blocked by the Koalas, and they get the possession. This is McKenzie. McKenzie's going to go wire to wire and convert. Curtis trying to find a man underneath. Doesn't. Goes out to Redwood. Three-point shot. Bounces around. No good. Rebound by Columbia. They save it from going out of bounds, and they'll have the ball and slow it down a little bit because time is on their side. Inside, tipped by Moore. Out of bounds. Looks like on the Lions. It's going to stay Columbia basketball. Inbound, bounces back out to the three-point line. O'Bannon trying to probably find someone underneath where it's been their bread and butter so far recently. Long three missed. Rebounded Rigel Moore. Moore quickly down the court. He's going to take it himself. No good, as there was a Koala all over him. He's going to be back on defense and make it tough for him. And now they're going to call foul. It looked like the ball was certainly not in possession of Chandler O'Bannon. The ball was bouncing around, but they did call the foul on Rigel Moore. McKean taking his time getting down the court. Even with the open look, he'd like to eat a little bit more clock on every possession. That's inside and missed by O'Bannon, a rare miss. That's going to be Derek Curtis. Bounce out to Cole Torres. Wide open three-point shot. Good. He takes advantage of that look. Torres has found his stroke right now here in the second half. And my guess is they're going to keep feeding him, and he's going to keep taking the shots. And as long as he's stroking them like that, I'd gladly welcome it. 55-46. Underneath O'Bannon, outside of McKenzie, and it's going to be out of bounds on the Lions. Nobody in a gray uniform agrees with that. I'll be honest, I was a little bit blocked in terms of what I saw, but when you got five guys on the court frustrated about the call, there's probably a little bit of something to it. Inside, missed layup. Fighting for the ball on the ground. Redwood comes up with it. Over to Rigel Moore. He's got 1-on-2. He's going to travel. I don't know if he realized how open he was. It looked like he was thought about passing it out to Derek Curtis for a three-point attempt, and then thought better of it about midway. But now we'll go into a timeout. 55-46, 8:54 remaining. Out of the timeout, it'll be Koala's ball. They lead by 9 with just under 9 minutes remaining in the game. Jordan McKean's been doing a good job of ball handling and controlling this offense, especially when he's got Chandler O'Bannon and Jamison McKenzie that have been lights out every time they touch the ball underneath. Lions putting a lot of pressure on defense, trying to get something going, and they do. It works out for them. Great job by Rigel Moore and Jerry Taylor Jr. to create the turnover right there. And that kind of aggression pays off for the Lions. They get the ball back with a 9-point deficit. Out to Derek Curtis, over to Rigel Moore. Moore with the open 3 look. Hits it, nails it. Rigel Moore has had a second half here for the Lions. And cuts that lead. Moore taking control of this game. He's been all over the court for him. Bounces it back out. Lions need a stop right here, and they get it. Rigel Moore, who else? Out to Derek Curtis, over to Cole Torres with the slam dunk. Great job, let's go. And now we are rolling 51-55, all momentum going toward the Lions at the hands heavily of Rigel Moore, who has been a spark plug so far in this offense, and Cole Torres has been the icing on the cake as the Koalas take a 3 and miss, and Cole Torres gets the rebound, and the energy has picked back up in this gym as Breadwood tries to go underneath. He's going to think second of it. Rigel Moore with the deep 3. Here we go, why not? Rigel Moore. And the Koalas do not have an answer for number 4 as the lead is cut to 1 point. 55-54, 7:15 remaining. They better try to stop that man, but they can't. Lions trying to play aggressive defense, almost. They did great, just kind of a circus shot right now, and they believe the Koalas are going to call timeout even after their own basket because they feel the momentum despite the recent points going toward the Lions, and they need to stop something. And we'll be right back. So the Koalas are the most recent to score points, but a big swing in this game so far by the Lions, who have done a great job battling back to make it currently a 3-point game. As Cole Torres observes the offense from the perimeter, Derek Curtis, full of energy, long 2-point shot. He's going to drain that one. Derek Curtis has never been accused of not wanting to take a shot or having a lack of energy. He can be an absolute spark plug for this offense, and it's 57-56. A lot of ball movement for the Koalas, trying to find an open look. Can't get anything underneath. Takes a wild, tough jumper, well defended by Curtis, but the ball does roll a Koala way. And so 59-56 as Redwood tries to drive underneath, bounces it back out to the hot hand, Rigel Moore. Why not? Why not? He's a bad man right now. Number 4 is on fire and has tied this ball game 59-59. And if the Lions can keep up this tough defense, they're moving in a great direction. Underneath, Jerry Taylor with a lot of pressure. Trying to find something. Koalas look a little bit out of sync. They give him an open shot, but he can't do it, and that's the out of sync I'm talking about. Cole Torres on the break, going down to Derek Curtis. Three-point attempt, no good. Rebound, and the Koalas are just standing there, but it was a 4-on-1, so we gave it to him. Jerry Taylor couldn't outmatch the four guys that are surrounding him, and the Koalas will have the basketball. Tie ball game, 5:15 remaining. This gym has come alive, and we need it. We need the momentum, and we need the energy from everybody in here. If you're listening, get loud, get on your feet. Koalas are trying to make something happen on offense. That's Thomas Whitley bouncing it back out. Three-point shot, no good. Rebound, Torres. Out to Curtis. Curtis is going to slow it down because Moore was on the ground and has to recover, and we need him out there. And here he goes. Misses that one, but had a tough look right there. But if you're shooting like that, we want you to keep shooting. Knotted up at 59. Drive and a make by number 4, Norman Haynes. I believe that, no, excuse me, that's Whitley. That's Thomas Whitley on the shot. Derek Curtis drives, bounces it back out to Breadwood, sees a three, likes, takes it, doesn't make it. Rebound, Koalas. The Lions are playing a little bit soft on the rebounds because they're trying not to get fast breaks on them, which is understandable. They have been able to do this, and now we got a little scrum as Derek Curtis and Tay Burton match up, and that's going to lead to a timeout and a break in action. So we will be right back. 61-59 Koalas, 3:51 left here on Lines Live. Back out after the timeout. It will be Koala's ball on the inbound. This game is started all Lions. Then for a good chunk of it was all Koalas, and now we're in a tight match here as the Koalas trying to get something going. That's McKean. No good. Curtis with the ball, bringing it down. Finds traffic, so bounces it back out. Cole Torres. Torres with 19 points on the game. Over to Regil Moore, who has 13 himself, and he's going to – oh, my goodness. I'll tell you this. A great job, Jerry Taylor Jr. More inside and outside the goal. I can't believe it didn't go in, but Jerry Taylor Jr. was on point for the second chance, and we're tied back at 61. 3 minutes left to go in the game. Three-point shot, no good. Rebounded by the Koalas, back up, no good, missed. Cole Torres gets it. Lions have a chance to take the lead here. Out to Moore. Moore's got to be thinking he wants to shoot. Koala's got to be thinking, don't let him. Derek Curtis drives and makes it. Great job, Derek Curtis. The spark plug himself converts on that, and the Lions take their first lead in a while. 63-61. Inside to McKenzie. McKenzie he bounces it back out to O'Bannon. Bannon, no good. Rebound McKenzie. Lions are all over him. Finds a man underneath, and there's going to be a foul. Right now, for a while, the Koalas were playing with just, it looked smooth, it looked effortless, and right now they're kind of scrambling like they're trying to press a little bit. And they're going to have to reset right here. They're going to get something going. Passes it deep to McKenzie, over to Ford. They want to get the ball in the hands of O'Bannon or McKenzie underneath. They get it out to Burton. Burton with a mid-range jumper, no good. Rebounded Breadwood. He's going to cross half court and then slow it down. And I'll tell you this, I don't know how there's no call right there. Oh, man, that's tough. Koalas convert after blatantly fouling a Lion at half court. But that's how it goes sometimes, and you got to recover. Derek Curtis with the ball, trying to make something happen. Then I think they're going to call foul there because they realized what they did the last time. And so now they go, here we go. Here we go. Could have used that 30 seconds ago. Breadwood will inbound to Curtis. Minute 27 left. 63-63 here in Summers Gymnasium. 7-6 records for both teams on the court. Trying to get a good look. Underneath to Jerry Taylor Jr., they called a ball. Golly. I guess they're letting them play. I guess that's what I'm saying. They're letting them play, letting the boys play. And it's going to be out of bounds on the Koalas. And so we'll take a timeout and be right back. One minute 13 left to go in this game. Lions will inbound the ball. Tie ball game, 63-63. They're going to get it to Jerry Taylor Jr. He's going to try to create some space for himself. Great shot. Good job as Cole Torres goes down hard. He's got to recover because the Koalas are marching quickly down the court. And they're going to go in for their own wild shot themselves. Great second chance. No good. Cole Torres, and they're going to have to foul. 57 seconds left. They foul Cole Torres. Up 65-63. And the best thing the Lions can do right now is convert. Well, if they're not in foul, they still have another one. That's only 5, so they have 2 more. 4 Lions, so they can get away with some fouls. The Lions are going to try to slow it down and make sure they get a good look right here. As Curtis gets into Taylor, back out to Breadwood. Koala is playing some very aggressive defense, trying to make something happen. Derek Curtis trying to make something happen, and he does! And he does! 67-63. O'Bannon marching down the court quickly. Bounce it back out. 34 seconds left to go. Timeout, Koalas. Let's go. 34 seconds remaining in Summers Gymnasium. Lions lead 67-63 after putting it on at a pretty good rate lately. It will be Koala's ball as we come out of this timeout. And they're going to try to make something happen. They're going to need, it's a two-possession game, so they're going to have to make something happen quickly as they take the three-point attempt off the backboard. No good. Another three attempt. No good, and we got a foul down low on Breadwood as I don't know. I didn't see it, so I can't speak. But there is a foul down low with 22 seconds left. That's going to send that's going to send Elion Ford to the line. Shooting two. You got to wonder what the strategy is if he makes the first one. I would assume he will just try to make the second one and then foul, although you never know. Each team has their own thing. It is a three-point game right now. 64-67. He will make the second one, so it will be Lions inbounding the ball as Derek Curtis will come in for Hayden Moten. Hayden Moten, the defensive specialist, and the Lions need free throw shooters in the game right now. 22 seconds left. Got to find a man. They do. They find Breadwood, and they're going to foul quickly. Only 1 second off the ball, off the clock, as Breadwood, I just think showing energy right there. I was going to say showing frustration. I think he's just showing energy right there. And we're not to the stripe yet. We still got one more foul. Next foul will put them in the line, so we can probably expect that within a second or two right here. And they're going to want to try to find their best free throw shooter. They find Breadwood, who is a good one. He's going to get it up to Curtis. Curtis is going to try to run around and avoid for as long as he can, but he will get fouled with 16 seconds left, so decent amount of time taken off the clock on that possession for the Lions. It's a two-point ball game, so a 1-and-1 hitting both free throws right here will be huge for Bryan College, as Bryan will bring everybody back on the other side of half court. Derek Curtis will miss the first one, so Koalas have an opportunity. 14 seconds left. Will they go for the win? Will they go for the tie? They're gonna try to go inside. They're gonna shoot. Oh my goodness. Well, the good news is he missed the shot. The bad news is he's going to the line to be able to tie it up. Great defense. Could have been a foul. Could have been a foul, but great defense. I could have gone either way. And this is going to be Elion Ford with all the pressure in the world on him to hit both these shots. And he is going to hit the first one. So right now, for the tie, the percentage favors when you're shooting for the tie rather than when you're shooting for the win. That's just a statistical. Ask Malcolm Gladwell. He's going to make the second one. So tie ball game. We'll stay right here on the timeout. Let me get some music going. And 67-67, 5.9 seconds. Yeah, all the middle school kids, including my daughter, are going crazy right now with this scoreboard. If there were 6.7 seconds left, it'd be even wilder. So the Lions will be shooting for the lead. And we will pause for just a second and come right back. Back in action here. 5.9 seconds left on the clock in the ball game, and we are tied up. Lions will have to go the entirety of the court and try to get a shot off with the Koalas pressing. I know they don't want to give up a fast break and an easy look, but they do want to put some pressure as Cole Torres will get off to Derek Curtis. That's a play. Curtis is going to drive and lay it up. No good. Back up, Hayden Moten. No good. No good. And no call on there. And we are headed into extra minutes. Overtime at Summers Gymnasium when we return. You paid for 40 minutes of basketball, and you're going to get 45 at least as we head into overtime here in Summers Gymnasium in Dayton, Tennessee. All knotted up at 67 as the Lions couldn't convert. But I was just telling my colleague Jessica Day at the break, I love the call. It was a great play. Derek Curtis was a great option and just couldn't quite make it happen. But fantastic strategy, in my opinion, by the Lions. Breadwood got a kickball right here, so it's going to reset, and Breadwood does it. All right. And that's what happens when it's a tie ball game and a close ball game and two teams that are tied up in the conference. There's going to be a little bit of chippiness, nothing out of hand, nothing not under control. Ty Gibbs in the ball game, and he's going to inbound this basketball, try to find something to happen. It's going to go to Breadwood. Breadwood's going to take the three. Nail it! He likes it. Looking at his bench, telling him, let's go, boys. 70-67 Lions on the board first here in overtime. Koala's trying to respond. Both teams have played great basketball tonight. Outside, trying to find some three to answer. No good right there, but because it's an air ball, they were able to get the easy rebound. And now there's a little bit of talking underneath, and Breadwood's going to take it down, and I don't think he likes that. He's probably going to take that ball in his hands. Gives it off to Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs underneath. We got Jerry Taylor Jr. Breadwood out to Moten. Moten loses it, and that's a turnover. It went off, I think, Hayden's foot. McKenzie's going to try to go underneath, but they're going to bounce it back out to three, and he hits it. And that's a dagger right there, temporarily, as the Koalas take a 2-point lead. Breadwood out to Jerry Taylor. Jerry thought about the three, but then thought otherwise. Inside to Taylor. Taylor's going to move around, and no good, but Moten with the great rebound. Tried to save it, but his toe was on the line as he tries the save attempt, and that's going to be Koala basketball with 3:26 left to go in this overtime period. Burton doing the ball handling down the court for the Koalas, getting it underneath to McKenzie, and it's going to be off his foot and out of bounds, so a turnover in exchange. Dueling turnovers, and nobody hurt on those two possessions as they cancel each other out. Redwood's going to get the ball back. 3:13 left. Jerry Taylor loses it, but gets it back. So Torres out to Ty Gibbs. Gibbs is in the game to hit some shots. Cole Torres is going to take the shot. No good. Gibbs with the attempt of the rebound. And that's going to be out of bounds on the Koalas. Lions basketball. .248 left. 72-70 Columbia. Derek Curtis in for Hayden Moten. They're trying to get Moten in on defense and Curtis in on offense. And finding the time to do that. Jerry Taylor's got it outside, out to Curtis. Over to Cole Torres. Back out to Curtis. Tries the drive. Underneath the Ty Gibbs, swatted out of bounds. Nothing hurt. Lions will reset, but the shot clock will remain at 8 seconds. Got to find a guy open. Finds Jerry Taylor Jr. Out to Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs is going to come in. Shot clock. And great behind the back pass by Ty Gibbs to Jerry Taylor Jr. And he converts. 72-72. Tied the ball game for a second. The scoreboard says 73. And we're in a back and forth battle here in Summers Gymnasium. Almost 600 people tuning in, and they're seeing an exciting one here on Lions Live on this frigid night as they go up, and Ty Gibbs blocks it, and it's going to be rebounded by the Lions and slowed down by Breadwood. Breadwood's going to take it up the court. He crosses half court. Now slow it down a little bit more. Minute 51 left. Over to Cole Torres. Back to Curtis Torres. Curtis finds a seam. Tries to drive out to Ty Gibbs. Yes! Three-pointer! Ty Gibbs. That's what he's in there for. He can do it. Looked like a travel right there that they missed and all the excitement, but regardless, Koala's trying to get underneath. Curtis trying to get his hand on the ball. They do get underneath and convert, but that's going to keep the Lions lead 75-74, minute 16. They're going to go slow. Derek Curtis with the handles, needing a good look right here. They've had some good looks lately and converted on them. Underneath the Ty Gibbs, and it looked like goaltending, and the goaltending, and it is goaltending. But regardless, he still makes it. That's how strong Ty Gibbs is. 59 seconds, 77-74, Lions lead. Ty Gibbs has played great here in this overtime, and his teammates have done a great job of getting him the ball, finding open looks. Koalas try to answer. 50 seconds left. O'Bannon bounces it back out, trying to go underneath. Nothing doing. Going back out. 43 seconds. What do we got? Timeout, Koalas. Be back on Lions Live. Back in action here in Summers Gymnasium. Shout out to Cornelius Moten, shouting out on YouTube. Watching Hayden playing a great game so far, and great defense on that possession as they bounce it back out. No good on the Koalas. Lions rebound. It's Hayden Moten, and they got to foul him. They got to foul him. 31 seconds left. 77-74. Two good shots here. Makes it a tough last 30 seconds for the Koalas. But to be fair, there is a lot of ball game left. The way that the pace of play that this thing is going here in overtime. Hayden Moten will drill the first one and get the opportunity to shoot for the second one. Nails them both. 5-point game. 30 seconds left. 3-point attempt. No good. Going out. Rebounded Koalas. Another three. Hits that one. Hits that one. 77-79. What are they going to do here? I would assume they're still in foul. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Turnover. Koalas underneath. Bounces it back out. 13 seconds left. Shot, foul. No good. And they're going to have a chance to tie this thing up as the Lions had a turnover as the Koalas were playing a very tough defense underneath. And that's why you press like that. This right here with Tay Burton on the line for the Columbia Koalas, trying to tie this thing up with 11 seconds left. No good. So is the strategy to miss this one, or is the strategy just to make it and foul? I would assume make it and foul since it's, well, 3-point game. I don't know. The fans are loud here in Summers Gymnasium. Makes the second one. We're going to call a timeout. 11 seconds left. Lions lead by 1. Back after this. Back in action here at Summers Gymnasium. 11 seconds left to go in this game. We're going to have an inbound to Cole Torres. Back over to Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs will be the one getting fouled with 8 seconds left to go. And he will be headed to the line to try to make this a 3-point game. No matter what, it's a 1-possession game, so the Koalas certainly have a chance with 8 seconds left. That's a pretty solid amount of time to get a shot off. We'll see how the Lions play this in terms of the rebound here. They're going to put 2 underneath. Moten and Jerry Taylor Jr., they're big men. As Ty Gibbs will miss that one, and it looks like it looked like they pushed off Hayden Moten, but no call. 4 seconds left. Shot at the buzzer. Oh, my goodness gracious. They hit it. I'll tell you this. No timeout, so we got to roll. And 0.7 seconds left. I don't know what you can do with that. The heave and no good, and the Koalas win, and I can't believe it. I'm gonna be a little bit of a homer right here. At the bottom, after the rebound, a Koala pushed hard off Hayden Moten, should have been a foul, wasn't called. Sometimes that's how it goes. But at the end, the Koalas come up on top, 81-79, signing out from Lions Live.